Last presentation of session 1 coming up before we go on to the panel game. So this is from Yahsat, Roadmap of YAR-Click Products and Solutions on KA band and L band. Okay? And it's Ahmet Eren. Okay?
First of all, I'd like to thank Prof and Group for organizing such a great event. I've been in conferences in Turkey many times. I think this is the best I have ever been on Satcom. So thank you again for inviting us. Just to give you a brief information on Yahsat. Yahsat is a Middle East-based satellite operator. We provide services, DTH, direct-to-home, government services, as well as satellite broadband services. What I'm going to talk here is basically satellite broadband. When I say satellite broadband, I'm referring to the commercial services here. Recently, Yahsat acquired Turaya, L-band operator, again Middle East based, and I'm going to give you how we are going to develop some services with Ka band and L-band as a hybrid services, because I think this is important to provide services. And when I say services, this means turnkey services to the customer, because the customer demands that. So what does the customer want from us is, commercially, the satellite broadband consumer trend says, I want higher speeds. Higher speeds means I want terrestrial-based higher speeds, which hasn't been the case until HTS has came into picture recent years. And the demand is always, the customer wants more data that goes to unlimited, like terrestrial services. And the customer wants no problems. That means they need turnkey solutions, off-the-shelf products, ready to launch, and no hassle for the end user. This goes to, for the enterprises, it can go to IoT, it can be a VPN connectivity from the remote to the head office, or they are running their ERP systems, they are running their SCADA, CCTV, whatever you name it. They want a turnkey solution. And the customer also wants quality of experience. When I say quality of experience, I'm not referring to quality of service. That is different. Because we are on GEO, we have a limitation on latency. That is, usually it takes us roughly 600 milliseconds. We have a latency, and we need to overcome this. There are several methods that we are using on our gateways, on our user terminals, to have and to provide a quality of experience to the user, so that the user doesn't think it's coming from satellite. Just to mention one, our engineers told me a service solution on a double hub. Double hub, when I mean double hub, it goes to the satellite, comes back to the ground, goes back to the satellite, comes back to the end user. I said this is not acceptable, because in the old times when we see it, it took 1.1 second for the end user. So the latency is not acceptable. But with the new techniques, the user experience, when you experience it in a real life scenario, the user experiences it and they don't even recognize it comes through 1.1 latency. Through TCP accelerations, through many caching mechanisms. So the satellite has improved a lot over the years. So on the operator level, what is happening? Operator level try to give the best quality of experience to the end users. That means we need to develop new space segments that comes with HTS, LEO constellations. They give higher speeds, and they give they can allow us to give unlimited capacity to the end users. We also need to develop new ground segments. The manufacturers that's coming up with new ground segments. These ground segments could be the CPEs, modems that we use to get satellite internet. And also, we need to provide mobility. Mobility is very important these days. Everybody is moving and they want to have access everywhere. Airplanes, ships, on the vehicles, everywhere. And new architectures. These new architectures allows us to give the best quality of experience to the user. We constantly develop. We constantly, as also satellite operators, we constantly talk to manufacturers on the ground level and CPE. Just yesterday, I had a 3-hour session with one of the manufacturers just to improve the quality of experience to the end user. And what do we do? How do we develop a product and a service to the end user? I've been to many countries for research, for satellite abroad. 45 countries, I run market research for satellite. And initially, that was coming from HTS, satellite investigations, business cases for satellite operators. So this is a great task, but also a very challenging task. Because when you are asking someone who doesn't know what is coming, they basically think the past. And as we all know, when you ask these questions, you probably get people's mind from the back experiences, their history. But you need to give them something more, and you need to open the floor for new ideas for them to basically pick up and understand and give you the feedback. What is the next? So what we do these market researches. We take these feedbacks from the customers. We come back, we do develop our product. When we do develop the product, we do a POC, proof of concept. And after that, we basically launch it. We launch the product. Then we basically start rolling it out. When you roll it out, it's everywhere. It's global, it's everywhere. You basically go to many markets with the same product. And sometimes you tweak the product based on the market requirements. But at the end, when the new product comes, you need to take it away from the market. And you cannot switch this off. You need to have a plan to basically bring the new product and remove the older one. So this needs a good transition. What do we do as in Yahsat, basically for our product roadmap? We work for Wi-Fi hotspots to provide communities in rural to give Wi-Fi hotspot. This is a great product where we also use share economy. Because satellite broadband becomes expensive due to the CPEs, the terminal cost to the end user. For single home or for single office, it's expensive. And we still need to bring it down. But it's not a mass market. You cannot bring it down because there's no mass market like this. Overall satellite market, we are talking about a 4 million overall globally on satellite broadband part. So it's not that much. That's why we develop such solutions to give one terminal and distribute it through the Wi-Fi. But again, doing this, you need to have a turnkey off-the-shelf solution. You cannot give the excess satellite internet and let the customer say, you do the Wi-Fi part. No, you need to give them a pure working platform, including the voucher management, monetization options with a business model. So cellular backhaul, we are supporting 2G, 3G, 4G currently, but 5G is also coming. That's important. Although 5G is more demanding in terms of the latency, satellite guys have been actively involved in these discussions from the start, which has never been the case for 3G and 4G. That's a very good indication that 5G will be satellite compatible. E-health, again, it's a cloud-based solution. It's a turnkey solution for the remote clinics. E-learning, cloud-based solutions for remote schools or remote communities or remote corporate branches. Mobility, I mentioned maritime here. K-event maritime doesn't exist much, but it's coming. And on IRO also, K-event IRO is also coming into the picture. And this is also very important. SNG, satellite news gathering, is mainly based on KU at the moment, but K-event is getting into this business also. And Internet of Things. I'm very glad I heard this STM presentation just before mine, that these IoT constellations around the world is popping up as startups, and they are doing a great job. And one of the scarcity on space segment is the frequencies. Some of these constellations, IoT constellations, they don't even need frequencies. They are doing it on unlicensed frequencies without ITU regulation. That's very important. That's a key enabler for new coming. And I think Turkey has great potential in it. I am very glad once again STM is working on it because Turkey has everything to play a great role in this IoT segment. And there's lots of startups coming up around the world. It's a great opportunity for the next generation satellites. 1 minute. I'm not going to go more onto the discussions, but just one example on what we do as the product solution. This is a Wi-Fi product that we developed, as I say, turnkey. There is the end users in a remote community, let's say in a village, and you bring a satellite terminal to this village. It's one terminal. Then you basically distribute it to the community, and you can manage the community as a giveaway. You can give them capacity-based allowance, or you can give them unlimited allowance based on the operator or who's operating this. And there's a web platform. Again, it's within the solution. This solution gives a full flexibility for the end user to have remote access. As Yahsat, we believe with our service partners, we need to develop them at turnkey solutions, and they need to bring it to the end users. And these end users, where we work mainly in Africa, Middle East, to have internet access, it's very critical for businesses, for life, and for their developments. And this is where we come into picture, developing, based on the feedback we get, we develop such solutions as a full turnkey solution that one guy goes, installs the antenna, 30 minutes, and then there you go. All the community is entitled to have full internet, high-speed internet. When I'm speaking high-speed, last one, we can go up to 25 megabits to 6 megabits in a remote place in Turkey, for example. Anywhere within a half an hour, you can get this speed and internet access. Thank you very much once again.
You did well. That was great.
Yeah, thank you.
Lots of things are happening in the Satcom business. Is Satcom seeing a renaissance? Is there an epoch? Is it happening? With all these things and this reduction in latency, that is absolutely key. So, may I give you this?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Fine.